Nighttime, for those who have weathered the storm of narcissistic abuse, becomes a battleground where echoes of manipulation and control linger in the shadows. One prevalent habit that stands as a nocturnal sentinel is the act of locking doors. This exploration uncovers 10 compelling reasons why individuals abused by narcissists find solace and security in the ritualistic locking of doors each night. Reason number 1. Reclaiming personal space. The habitual act of locking doors is an emblematic gesture of reclaiming personal space for those who have suffered narcissistic abuse. The intentional click of the lock becomes a symbolic boundary, a tangible assertion that the confines of the night will be safeguarded against the intrusive echoes of the past. Imagine the quiet determination as individuals secure their surroundings, transforming the act into a nightly ritual of self-preservation and autonomy. In the stillness of the night, the turning of the key becomes a resolute declaration, a reclaiming of the right to exist within the confines of one's home without fear of intrusion. This nightly act transcends the physicality of a locked door. It embodies the steadfast resolve to forge a space where the scars of manipulation hold no sway. Reason number 2. Creating a barrier against intrusion. The act of locking doors becomes a strategic maneuver to create a tangible barrier against potential intrusion. For those abused by narcissists, the night holds an air of vulnerability, and the locked door serves as a sentinel against the encroachment of past anxieties. Picture the deliberate slide of the bolt, a conscious choice to fortify against the ghosts that may attempt to breach the sanctity of the night. As individuals engage in this nightly ritual, the locked door transforms into a guardian, an impassive defender standing watch against the residual shadows of manipulation. This barrier becomes not just a physical impediment but a psychological deterrent, a line drawn in the sand that signals a refusal to succumb to the specters of the past. Reason number 3. Establishing a sense of control. The act of locking doors each night is an assertion of control for those who have endured the chaos of narcissistic relationships. The key turning in the lock becomes a tangible manifestation of authority, a nightly ritual where individuals decide who enters their personal space. Imagine the empowering click, a resonant echo of resilience as they reclaim control over their immediate environment. In the realm of the night, the locked door becomes a metaphorical switch, shifting the narrative from vulnerability to empowerment. Each rotation of the key is a declaration that, despite the tumultuous history, control over one's personal space is non-negotiable. This nightly assertion becomes a crucial step in the ongoing journey of regaining autonomy and agency. Reason number 4. Guarding against nightmares and flashbacks. Individuals abused by narcissists often lock their doors as a defense against the specters that invade their dreams. The closed door becomes a shield against the nightmarish flashbacks that may threaten to breach the vulnerable realm of sleep. Picture the locked door as a psychological barrier, an emblematic gesture that guards against the intrusion of the past into the fragile landscape of dreams. As individuals turn the key, they construct a boundary between the conscious and subconscious realms, ensuring that the night remains a sanctuary untouched by the haunting memories of narcissistic abuse. The locked door becomes a guardian against the encroachment of the nocturnal echoes that threaten the tranquility of rest. Reason number 5. Fostering a sense of safety. Locking doors each night is an instinctual act aimed at fostering a sense of safety within one's own home. The click of the lock becomes a sonorous affirmation that, within these walls, individuals can cultivate an environment free from the pervasive fear that often accompanies narcissistic abuse. Imagine the quiet sigh of relief as individuals, through the ritual of locking doors, create a cocoon of security that shields them from the tumult of external threats. In the embrace of the night, the locked door transforms into a sentinel of safety, a steadfast companion that stands guard against the lurking shadows of mistrust. This nightly act of fortification becomes a crucial step in the ongoing process of rebuilding a haven where security reigns supreme. Reason number 6, defying the residue of control. Locking doors is a defiant act against the residual control that lingers from past narcissistic relationships. The turn of the key is a symbolic rejection, a silent proclamation that the mechanisms of manipulation will no longer dictate the narrative of the night. Picture the deliberate twist, an intentional severance from the threads of control that once bound individuals to the whims of a narcissistic abuser. In the hush of the night, the locked door becomes a powerful gesture of liberation, an emancipation from the psychological shackles that sought to dictate even the simplest acts of daily life. This nightly defiance marks a subtle but significant victory in the ongoing battle for autonomy. Reason number 7, creating a boundary for emotional well-being. The nightly act of locking doors serves as a boundary not just for physical safety, but for emotional well-being. The closed door becomes a metaphorical shield against the emotional turmoil that may seep into the night. Imagine the door as a guardian of serenity, preserving the sanctity of the night from the echoes of past emotional tumult. As individuals engage in the ritual of locking doors, they are constructing an emotional barrier, a psychological space where the wounds of narcissistic abuse find no entry. This boundary setting becomes an intentional act of self-preservation, fostering a night unburdened by the emotional residue of past trauma. Reason number 8, navigating the night as a sanctuary. The nightly locking of doors transforms the night into a sanctuary, an environment where individuals can find solace and reprieve from the external pressures of the day. The closed door becomes a symbolic transition, a passage from the tumultuous external world to the tranquil haven within. Picture the threshold as a protective gateway, marking the commencement of a nightly journey toward peace and restoration. In the embrace of the night, the locked door becomes a sentinel that guards the entry to this sanctuary, a nocturnal pledge to create a space where the scars of narcissistic abuse are gently set aside, allowing room for healing and rejuvenation. Reason number 9, establishing routine as a coping mechanism. For those who have endured narcissistic abuse, the nightly ritual of locking doors becomes a coping mechanism embedded in routine. The act of turning the key is a grounding gesture, providing a familiar and predictable anchor in the otherwise unpredictable sea of emotions. Imagine the rhythmic click as a nightly affirmation, a stabilizing routine that brings a sense of order to the potentially chaotic realm of the night. As individuals engage in this repetitive act, they are establishing a nightly ritual that transcends the physical act of locking. The routine becomes a psychological anchor, a comforting gesture that accompanies the journey from wakefulness to slumber, offering a moment of predictability in the midst of uncertainty. Reason number 10, fortifying the sanctuary of sleep. Locking doors each night is an intentional effort to fortify the sanctuary of sleep, an act of ensuring that the vulnerable state of slumber remains untouched by the shadows of the past. The locked door becomes a guardian of the nocturnal realm, standing sentinel against the potential intrusion of nightmarish memories. Picture the door as a silent protector, preserving the sacred space where dreams can unfold undisturbed. In the quietude of the night, The act of turning the key becomes a conscious commitment to safeguard the realm of sleep. The locked door, standing as a sentinel, becomes an emblematic gesture of resilience, a nightly declaration that, despite the scars of the past, the sanctuary of sleep remains inviolable. Unlocking the reasons behind the ritualistic locking of doors by those abused by narcissists reveals a complex tapestry of empowerment, defiance, and the pursuit of nocturnal tranquility. Far from a mere habit, the act of securing the door each night becomes a powerful assertion of agency, a nightly declaration that the scars of narcissistic abuse will not define the narrative of the dark hours. It stands as a testament to the ongoing journey of recovery, self-preservation, and the reclamation of the night as a space for healing and renewal.